All right, we are here at game number 2 for the Guardians in this tournament. Took a tough loss that last game by 1. We're going to come back and try to work ourselves right back into this tournament. Faceoff comes down in the neutral zone. Higgy moves it up. Battle down right here in front. Fox Motors comes out with it. They start to gain the zone of the Guardians. They skate it into the middle of the ice. Cronlin pushes them to the outside. Puck's now in the far corner. Cronlin picks it up. He tries to get it up to Barr. Unable to get it there. Cronlin tries to shove it up the boards one more time. Comes out to the point. Barr trying to get it out. That comes down. Fox Motors then pushes it all the way back down the zone. That's picked up by Campbell. He passes it over to Higgy. Higgy now moves it up the ice, trying to get it to Lynette, but that's intercepted. Higgy then pushes it back up the boards. Lynette now racing to the puck down into the Fox Motors end. They come back out into the middle. That's picked up by Higgy. Higgy now skating. He takes it to the outside. He gets through to the middle. He then has that puck stripped away. Fox Motors now coming back the other way. Auger meets him in the middle. That kicks out to O'Brien on the far side. He's got Algrim up the middle. He goes around the defense. He gets a lane to the net. He tries to get it over. That's kicked out behind the net by the goaltender. Both teams now battling behind the net. Fox Motor rims it all the way around. Guardians are there. Algrim along with O'Brien battling in the corner. Fox Motor's then able to get it out into the neutral zone. But that's intercepted by Olsen. He gets back. He dumps it down deep into Fox Motors zone. They skate around behind their net. They pass it up to the half wall. They then move it to the center of the ice. They can't hold on to it. That puck slips all the way down into the Guardian zone. Morvacek then rifles it up the boards. O'Brien picks it up in the middle of the ice. He then passes it out into the neutral zone. Fox Motors picks it up as they gain the zone of the Guardians. They fire it on net. That's deflected out by Simonson. Puck's now in the far corner there. A couple Guardians there battling. Morvacek trying to get control of that puck. He then rims it around. Fox Motor picks it up on the backside. They come out to the point. Lynette nearly intercepts that. He would have been gone if he would have had that one. O'Brien picks it up. He gets it out into the neutral zone. He then has that puck stripped away. They kick it back into the neutral zone. O'Brien gets on. Looks like they're going to call offsides. Guardians trying to push that face-off forward. We're going to have another whistle for an offsides. Campbell in to take the draw. Pushes it forward to Amos. Amos trying to get it in deep. Fox Motors then gets it out in the neutral zone. Campbell's there to break that up. Fox Motors comes out with it. They start to skate it into the zone. They get around the defense. He then goes down. Guardians are going to get a penalty there for a hook. Campbell will go to the box for hooking. Faceoff comes back into the Guardian zone as we go on to the PK. Higgy rifles the puck all the way around behind the boards. O'Brien picks it up on the near side here. He tries to skate it through. He loses that puck right on the blue line. Fox Motors now coming back. They throw it into the middle. That's broken up by Higgy. He gets it up to Algrim. Algrim now has some space. He's got O'Brien on the far side. He chips it around the defense. Beats him down into the corner. He's unable to get that puck into the middle. We're going to have a penalty there for a trip on Fox Motors, so that'll even it out to 4-on-4. Fox Motors wins the draw. Barr comes out the other side. They then throw it Moravicek's not able to get to it to hold the zone. That comes all the way back into the Guardian zone. He then goes D to Simonson. Simonson moves it up to Barr. Barr now with it in the neutral zone. He's skating it out to the outside. He tries to dump it off to Olsen, but that's intercepted. Fox Motors coming back the other way. Simonson, they throw it out front. That's intercepted by Moravicek. Moravicek then throws it up. Olsen trying to get it out. Simonson now picks it up in the corner. He needs help! Sorry, I had a shout out. Got a defenseman there, needed a little help. They skate it to the front. That's blocked away by Wall. Puck's loose in front. He shoots it one more time. That's sealed up by Wall. Piggy's got the puck. He moves it through the neutral zone. He gets pushed to the outside. He goes down on the blue line. And that's there trying to get that puck in deep. He gets it to O'Brien. O'Brien tries to toe drag. He ends up losing that puck. Battle now on the half wall. And that comes out with it. That comes out to Higgy on the point. Higgy tries to get it over. Gets it over to Algrim. Algrim shoots. That goes off the stick and into the corner. Cromlin steps up to hold the zone. Puck's loose right there in the skates. Both teams battling for it. Fox Motor comes out with it. They then pass it into the middle of the ice. Higgy steps up trying to hold it. Fox Motor's now leaving the zone. They got a 3-on-1 coming back the other way. Cromlin does a nice job poking that puck away into the far corner. Fox Motors with it down in the corner. Cromlin's there battling along with Algrim. Fox Motors then throws it towards the net. That's kicked out by Higgy. Higgy then tries to rim it around behind the net. Both teams trying to get a hold of this puck, just kind of slap it around a little bit. Guardians going to have to try to get their composure, try to control this puck a little bit better. Fox Motors shoves it up the boards in the neutral zone. Lynette kicks it out to O'Brien. O'Brien now with it. Sorry, that's Campbell with the puck. He comes around to the outside. He shouts, and that's sealed up by the goaltender. He had a guy with him on the backside, and the goalie's able to seal that one up. Face-off's one to Barr. Barr's trying to hold the zone there. That comes out into the neutral zone. Campbell intercepts. Barr now picks it up. That's poked away. Fox Motors now coming back the other way. That comes out in the middle. Barr slaps that away. That comes out to Simonson. Simonson tries to get up to Campbell. Campbell trying to get it into the middle. Unable to get it there. Fox Motors now coming back the other way. That's kicked out by Wall. It comes out to Amos. Amos tries to chip it up, but that's blocked. Puck's now still deep into the Guardian zone. They center it out. That's kicked out by Simonson. He rims it around. He comes around behind the net and then moves it up to Barr. Simonson picks it up. He shoots it over to Amos. Amos now has to step on the defense. They're back checking. He gets pushed to the outside. He then pushes it over to Campbell. Campbell then has that puck. Now Barr with it at the top of the zone. He skates it to the outside. He's battling now down in the corner. He rims it around, trying to get it to Simonson. Simonson's able to hold the zone. He dumps it back down deep. That rims all the way around behind the net for Amos to pick up. He's battling now. Campbell there trying to break up that breakout pass. Moravicek's going to step up trying to hold the zone. Fox Motors then slaps it all the way across the ice. Simonson picks it up. He tries to get it. That's intercepted. Now got a 3-on-2 coming back the other way. Campbell's able to get back and pick that puck up. He now chips it around the defense. He's taken down. No call. Fox Motors picks it up around behind the net. They then pass it up in the half wall. They can't hold on to it. Higgy now picks it up. He hits the brakes. He then shoves it up to Boers. Algrim picks it up. Algrim takes it to the outside. He passes it to Barr. Barr shoots. Hits off the pad of the goalie. Good scoring opportunity there. Just not able to connect. Puck now comes into the middle of the ice. That's kicked out. Algrim picks it up. Algrim skates it in the middle. Kicks it back up to himself. He shoots. That's blocked away by the goaltender. Fox Motors now coming back the other way. Barr intercepts right on the blue line. Barr now takes it down into the corner. He rims it around. Olson's going to pick it up on the far side. He's battling around. He has that puck stripped away. Fox Motors now carrying out of their zone. They throw it all the way down the ice. That'll be enough for an icing. .509 left in the first period. Score still 0-0. Face-off will come back into Fox Motors end. Campbell in to take the draw. Puck's loose right on the face-off dot. O'Brien's able to come out with it. He's battling down in the corner. He gets it out to Campbell. Campbell steps towards the net. That's poked away. This puck's loose. Olson picks it up behind the net. He's battling along with two. He gets it. He comes out. He's trying to get it back to the front of the net. He goes down in the corner. Fox Motors now skates into the middle of the ice. That's poked away by Campbell. Fox Motors then backhands it into the neutral zone. Moravchuk steps up. He steps around one guy. He's now got some room to take it to the outside. He's got it. Tries to backhand it towards the net. Goalie's unable to get on top of that and seal it up. Crowman picks the puck up at the D. He's trying to get it up to Algrim. Algrim now with it. He skates it into the middle of the ice, passes it over to Lynette. Lynette fires. That goes off the glove and outside to the far corner. Algrim then has that puck poked off. Comes to Higgy. He fires. He hits the rear end of a Fox Motors player. Puck then bounces back into the neutral zone. Crowman goes back to regroup. He dumps it off to Lynette. Lynette circles around in the neutral zone. He comes back in through the middle. He cuts back towards the middle. He then has that puck stripped away. Algrim picks it up. He has that puck stripped away, but he's able to get back to it. He gets it out to Higgy. Higgy has some room there. He dumps it down deep. Amos battling down in the corner along with Algrim. Amos comes out with it. He skates it to the net. He backhands it. That's pushed away by the goaltender. Fox Motors then comes up the far boards and in through the middle of the ice as they gain the neutral zone. He tries a toe drag. That's stripped away. Lynette now with the puck. He's got some room to skate. He gets it into the middle, gets it over to Amos. Amos now taking it to the outside. He tries to backhand it towards the front of the net. That comes through the middle. Nobody's there. Fox Motors then strips it into the neutral zone. Gardia's going to be way offsides. Amos got stuck back in the zone. And he just wasn't saw. 3:19 left in the first period. Guardians win the draw, back to their defense. That's poked out into the middle. Barr picks it up. That puck's then stripped away. Fox Motors coming back the other way. Campbell gets back. He breaks that up. Moravchuk picks it up on the far side. He tries to get up. Barr tips it out into the neutral zone. Puck's then deflected into the player's box of the Guardians, while a face-off just outside the Guardian zone. Ruff decided to put it at neutral ice here. Guardians push the puck forward. Fox Motors then pushes it through the neutral zone. Simonson steps up at the blue line. They then skate it into the middle of the ice. They're going to be offsides on Fox Motors. Fox Motors comes through on that draw. They come straight towards the net. Moravchuk pushes them to the outside. Algrim's there battling. He gets it up, trying to get it to Olson. Fox Motors then fires it back towards the net. Moravchuk picks it up. He gets it up to Lynette. Lynette now dumps it off to Algrim. Algrim loses it in his feet. Fox Motors then picks it up just outside their zone. They're battling right here in front now. Simonson trying to get it over to Moravchuk, but that's intercepted. Moravchuk gets it up to Olson. Olson gets it to Algrim. Algrim now moving. He's got one defense to beat. He gets it to the outside, cuts back to Lynette. Lynette now circles back, looking for a lane to get it out front. He throws it down into the corner and then rims it around behind the net. Holgren picks it up on the far side. He dumps it off to Olsen. Olsen now with it. He centers it, but that's intercepted. Fox Motors now skating it out of their zone. They get through the neutral zone. They're pushing to the outside. They put it in the middle. Lynette then slaps that puck over to the boards. Puck's now loose in the feet of Lynette. Campbell's able to pick it up. He circles back into his own zone, passes it off to Cronlund. Cronlund then moves it up to Amos. Amos has that puck poked away, but it goes down into the far corner. Campbell picks it up. He cuts through. Almost gets around the one guy. He throws it out front. That's intercepted and pushed back behind the net. Campbell picks it up. He's got some room. He passes it over in the middle to O'Brien. O'Brien then has that puck stripped away. O'Brien comes out with it. Puck's now loose in front of the net. Fox Motors able to push that puck away. Higgy steps up, trying to hold the zone. He's now battling right here in the neutral zone. He chips it up to O'Brien. O'Brien chips it to Campbell. Campbell now takes it to the outside. He fires. That just goes wide. Fox Motors picks it up on the far side and dump it down in the neutral zone. Cronlund picks it up. He goes D to D to Higgy. Higgy then bounces it off the boards, trying to get it up to O'Brien. That's not able to be handled cleanly, but he's able to circle back and pick it up. He then gets it into the middle of the ice to Campbell. Campbell now has bar. He passes it out. He gets the skate, passes it back. Oh, just missed. He almost had that. He had a wide open net. Tried to tip it, just went wide. Higgy now skating it through the ice. He's got some speed. He moves it into the middle. He then has that puck stripped away just in the high slot. Fox Motors then able to get it out into the neutral zone. Higgy's able to get back. Cronlund does a nice job poking that puck away. Barr's trying to chip it in around the defense. And that's going to be offsides on Fox Motors.
Keep your feet moving, right? Quick feet, quick feet.
Fox Motors dumps that all the way to the far side of the ice. That's not going to be enough for an icing, but that's going to do it for the first period. Guardians able to put some pressure on in that last part of that period there, but a lot of close opportunities, but score still remains 0-0 after one. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right, we're back for the second period. Fox Motor wins that draw. They then go to the far side as they pick it up and gain the Guardian zone and then pass it into the middle of the ice. That puck's then kicked all the way over to the far near boards here. That's rimmed around. Simonson picks it up. He gets it up to Lynette. Lynette's trying to poke that puck out, unable to. Puck then kicks out in front of the net. Moravicek picks it up. He then slaps it. It's a skate, comes back into the far corner. He then pushes it up the wall. Fox Motors with it now at the top of the circle. They then backhand it deep into the far corner. Simonson goes to retrieve. He rims it up to Lynette. Lynette's pushed off that puck. That's chipped behind the net. nearly comes out in front. Moravicek pushes him back out behind the net. Puck's now loose in front. He winds up. He shoots. That goes wide. Olsen picks it up on the boards. He's able to get it. Linnetz now has a lane to the net. He comes back, backhands it, and then just misses it wide. Puck's then loose in his skates. They rim it all the way around. Higgy's going to pick it up. He then dumps it down deep to safety to Linnett. Linnett skates it in towards the net. He fires, and that's blocked by the goaltender, and he's going to cover that up. 11:42 left in the second period. Well, a face-off down in the Guardian zone. Sorry, Fox Motors end. Puck comes out to Cronlund. Cronlund's unable to hold the blue line. He then has that puck poked away. Higgy's hustling, trying to get back. They pick it up in the corner, they then throw it towards the front of the net. That comes all the way through to O'Brien on the far side. O'Brien now skating it up. He passed it in the middle to Campbell. Campbell now with it. He skates it in the middle. He tries to split the D and has that puck stripped away. O'Brien then slaps it over to the far boards, and they get it out into the neutral zone. Guardians then trying to dump it back down deep. Fox Motor is able to clear the zone. They then pass it into the middle of the ice. As they skate down in towards the net, Cronlund does a nice job poking that puck away. Then rim it around to Amos. Amos trying to chip it up out of the zone. He's battling just inside the blue line. Fox Motors comes out with it. They then chip it back down deep, rims it around behind the net. Cronlund picks it up. He takes a look. He then backhands it up the boards. That's intercepted. Guardian still. Campbell's able to come out with that. He chips it around the defense. We got a 2-on-1 coming back the other way. Amos is on the far side. He takes a shot, and that's a goal by Campbell. Campbell able to start that from his defensive end. He chips it around the defense. Got a 2-on-1 coming back the other way. He sees an opening, and he fires and puts that in for goal number 1 for the Guardians. Simonson with that puck. He fires, has that block. Moravicek now with it. He fires it up the boards. Algrim trying to get a hold of it. Fox Motors now coming through the middle of the ice. They slap it towards the net. That's unable to get through. That's kicked up. Algrim can't quite hold on to it. Moravicek now picks it up. He gets it. Barr tips it up, but that's going to be offsides. Just gets ahead of it a little bit. Otherwise, he would have been gone. He's kind of frustrated with himself, but what can you do? Fox Motors wins the draw. They skate it to the end of the zone. Barr steals it. He strips it away. He then has that puck stripped away in the neutral zone. That comes out to Simonson. Simonson then tries to dump it up the middle. That's blocked. Hits a shin pad. Battling now. Fox Motors dumps it in behind the net. Algrim now with it, battling in the corner. He's taking out the puck. Fox Motors with it. They dump it back into the zone. He then strips it away. Fox Motors rims it all the way around behind the net. They throw it out front. That comes out to Barr. Barr with it. He dumps it off to Linnett. Linnett now trying to get some wheels to get around the defense. He throws it out front. He's got a lane to the net. He takes it to his backhand. He's then taken down. Fox Motors now coming back the other way. We got a 2-on-1. They skate it to the outside. He then fires it on net. That's blocked away by Wall. Shot from the point. That's blocked. Take another shot. That's kicked out by Wall. Cronlund then rims it around the boards. They then fire it towards the net. That goes all the way to the far side. O'Brien's hustling over there along with Simonson, trying to get control of that puck. He moves it up to Barr. Barr tips it off to Campbell. Campbell now has a lane right to the net. He fires and scores! That's Simonson to Barr to Campbell for goal number 2 with 8:43 left in the second period. Face-off battle right at the dot. Fox Motors comes out with it. They start to skate it into the zone. They're going to be offsides. And we're going to have a face-off. Face-off's pushed forward by the Guardians, and their defense strips it away. That's intercepted by Olsen. Lynette now is able to dump that puck deep. That goes all the way around behind the net. They then pass up the boards and aren't able to hold it cleanly. Lynette then backhands it into the zone. Fox Motors then able to skate it out into the neutral zone. He tried to chip it around. Higgy does a nice job keeping his body in front there and not letting him around. Conlon then tries to backhand. That goes out behind the net. Higgy picks it up. Higgy trying to get it up to Olsen. Olsen now with it. He tries to chip it in the middle to Algren. Higgy now with it. He chips it up. Lynette's trying to get to it. He can't quite hold on. Algren then strips the puck away from Fox Motors. Battle just outside the blue line. Comes out to Lynette. Lynette now trying to kick it into the zone. Still loose just on the blue line. Algren's then able to get a stick. He fires it on net. That's pushed away. Fox Motors then picks it away. They put the brakes. They reverse it around back to the far boards. They then slap it all the way down the ice. That's not going to be enough for an icing, forcing Higgy to go back to regroup. He skates it around behind his net. He backhands it up to Olsen. Olsen tips it off to Campbell. Campbell goes over to O'Brien. O'Brien skates it back to the near side. He's then stripped off the puck. Fox Motors now coming back the other way. They get it to the neutral zone. They chip it up. Campbell's able to get back. He strips that puck away. Fox Motors still able to keep it in the zone. They move it in the middle. Higgy does a nice job intercepting and then gets it out to O'Brien. O'Brien tips it off to Campbell. Campbell trying to get it over to Amos, but that pass is blocked. Fox Motors now picks it up. They go across ice. Conlon stepping up right there on the blue line. Campbell coming in to help out. He breaks that puck up. O'Brien there battling on the half wall. They dump it on deep. Conlon picks it up. He starts to skate it around behind his net. He passes it off to Higgy. Higgy trying to get to it. He's able to knock that puck down and get it out of the zone. That comes out to O'Brien. O'Brien comes into the middle. He's then stripped off the puck. Puck comes in behind the net. They shoot it all the way to the far side. That's going to go down into the zone. Not enough for an icing, though. Simonson's going to have to play this one. They pass it up to Amos. Amos gets it over to Algren. Algren now has speed. He's able to get around the defense. He backhands, comes through. Puck's loose. Shot. Hits off the post. Comes out the bar. Bar fires. That's blocked by the goaltender. Lynette now battling the corner. He's checked. Bar now hustling down into the far corner. Fox Motors then chips it up. They then throw it down and it almost takes Justin out. We'll have a face-off inside the zone. Guardians win that draw back to Simonson. Simonson dumps it back down to Lynette. That hops over his stick. Algren then Forrest. Barr picking it up in the near corner here. He's battling. Algren comes out with it. He passes it over to Lynette, and he tries to get a one-timer there. Holy man. He two-handed him right in the boards there. He goes head first. That's going to be a penalty on Fox Motors. Guardians win the draw. They go back to Higgy. Higgy goes back. That pass is intercepted. Fox Motors now coming back the other way. Campbell's hustling back. That comes to the far side. Conlon's able to get back. They push them to the outside. Campbell's there, battling behind the net with a Fox Motors skater. That's rimmed around. Fox Motors then goes out to their defense. They then chip it over to the far side. Higgy then tries to rifle it up, but that's intercepted. Guardians now have a step. We got a 3-on-1 coming back the other way. He takes it to the outside. He's got a guy on the far side. Passes it over. Shots. He just can't hold on to it. Had the net wide open. Can't seem to bury that one. We'll have a delayed penalty here on Fox Motors. Higgy now with the puck. He moves it over to Kronman. Kronman rims it around to Olsen behind the net. Olsen now with it. He's looking for a lane. He circles back. He cuts back the other way. He rims it around. That's going to come out to Higgy at the point. Higgy then tips it up. And we're going to have a touch up there for a whistle. A slight delay here as they're trying to get everything kind of squared away. Refs over talking with their coaches. They got 3 stacked up in the box. Their bench is looking real light over there. Face-off one, and Lynette goes over to Morbacek. Morbacek fires. That hits the post and in for Morbacek. Right off the draw, it goes back. They pass it out top to Morbacek. Morbacek fires, dings off just the inside of the post. That's going to be goal number 3 for the Guardians. Fox Motors wins the draw. They then dump it down in the deep. Morbacek chips it over to Simonson. Simonson then looks up the ice. He has that pass intercepted. Wahlgren goes back to pick it up. He then sees a lane in the middle of the ice. He passes it up to Lynette. Lynette has a breakaway here. He's tangled up. He goes down. Going to have another penalty on Fox Motors. They're going to poke away. Guardians have an opportunity here as we got 5-on-3. Face off down in their end. That's pushed over to the boards to O'Brien. O'Brien then dumps it back to Cronlin. Cronlin with it. He skates it over. He moves it over to Higgy. Higgy skates in closer to net. He then goes to Barr. Barr with it. He chips it around to Campbell. Campbell picks it up on the boards. He goes out to Cronlund. Cronlund then goes over to Higgy. Higgy's trying to control it. He goes towards the net. He then chips it over to Barr. Barr goes back to Higgy. He can't hold on to it clean. That comes back out. Guardians got to regroup. Cronlund now with it. He gets it up to Barr. Barr now with a lane. He's got a guy on the far side. He shoots. That goes off the side of the net. Campbell picks it up on the far side. He circles it over. Cronlund now has the puck on the blue line. He stops. He's got a lane to the net. He tries to get it over to Barr, but that's intercepted. Fox Motors now trying to get it out of the zone. Higgy's able to strip that puck away in the neutral zone as he's coming back the other way. Higgy then loses the puck right there on the blue line. They then pass it over to Barr. Barr holds it. He passes it up to Campbell. Campbell shoots. That's kicked away by the goaltender. Barr now battling. He chips it back to Campbell. Campbell tries to get it back out to Cronlund. Cronlund's going to step up, trying to hold the zone there. They battle there on the half wall. O'Brien picks it up. He gets it on towards the net. That's kicked out into the far corner. That comes out. Higgy steps around a few guys. He passes cross ice. That just goes wide. Campbell almost nearly tipped that one in. Barr now with it behind. He comes back, shot, and a goal! Barr fake trying to go behind the net. Goalie cheated a little bit. He cut back and tucked it in the near side there. That's goal number 4 for the Guardians. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Face-off, neutral ice. Guardians up 4-0 here with 2:05 left in the second period. Olsen dumps it down deep into the zone. Algrim hustle down in the forecheck. He picks it up in the far corner. Lynette's then able to poke it down behind the net. He hits the brace. He tries to come back the other way. He's taken down. That comes back in the middle, but Algrim's able to break that up. He cuts back towards the middle. Shot! That hits off the post and goes around behind the net. He tries to wrap around. Puck's loose in front. Shot! That just goes wide by Lynette. They then throw it out. Cronlund's able to hold the blue line. Fox Motors then able to chip that out. That comes out into the neutral zone. Moravicek's going to step up. He got around Moravicek. They got a lane straight to the net. He gets to the backhand. The shot, that goes wide. Fox Motors now with it behind the net. They pass it out front. They shoot it. That comes up over the net. Algrim picks it up on the near boards here. He gets it up to Olsen. Olsen chips it out into the neutral zone. Fox Motors then goes cross ice, then back into the middle. That's poked away. Olsen now with it. He's skating it through the neutral zone. He's taking it to the outside, trying to get around the Fox Motors defense. He's able to do so. He gets the lane. He shoots, and that's gloved. It was right on the ice. Goalie did a nice job scooping that out. If not, that would have hit off the pad, and we had Algrim right on the back side there. .56 seconds left in the second period. Face off down in Fox Motors zone. Campbell in to take the draw along with O'Brien and Amos, Cronlund and Higgy at D. Face off comes to Amos at the point. He tries to get it out to Cronlund. Cronlund's not able to hold on to it. Fox Motors gets around behind him. Higgy steps over. That comes in the middle. They backhand it. That's a nice pad save there by Wall. Guardians now coming back the other way. They pass it out to Amos. Amos now gains the zone. He gets it around to the outside. He fires it on net. That comes through over to the near side. Brian then chips it out. Fox Motors then able to get it out into the neutral zone. We got a 3-on-2 coming back the other way. That's poked away by Higgy. He then backhands it towards the net, but Higgy's able to intercept. That comes around the boards. Guardians trying to get it out of the zone. Amos picks it up. He's got some room. We got a 3-on-2 coming back the other way. Both of these teams, after playing one game, their legs just kind of look a little sluggish as both teams are struggling to move up and down the ice. Campbell picks it up. He's still got some jets. He fires it on net, but that's going to be offsides on the Guardians with half of a second left in the period. That's going to do it for the second period. Guardians able to put up 4 with 11 shots on goal. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back for the third. All right, we are back for the third period. I don't know where she's at. I have to go find her. Both teams starting to line up. Faceoff comes back. Simonson picks it up in his own zone. He then muscles it out. That gets it up to Barr. Barr now with it. He skates it into the middle of the ice. He passes it over to Lynette. Lynette now backhands it back into the middle. The goalie does a nice job poking it out. That comes to Algren. Algren then Simonson chips it out into the corner. Barr then picks it up. He starts to skate it around behind the net. He then passes it out front. Puck's loose in front. Algren trying to spin around. Can't quite hold on to it. Lynette's able to get it. He passes it out to Moravicek. Moravicek fires it through the net. That's loose. Algren picks it up. He's trying to get it to the middle. He dumps it back to Lynette. Barr now trying to chip it out to Simonson. Both teams battling. Simonson has a big clapper that goes wide. Rims all the way around to Moravicek. He steps up, able to hold the zone. Guardians do a nice job. Algren's able to poke that one down deep into the zone. He rims it all the way around. Lynette's going to pick it up on the other side. He's battle. Barr comes in to help out. Barr picks it up. He passes it to Simonson. Simonson moves up, takes a shot. That's kick saved. Simonson then picks it up in the corner. He circles back. He tries to get it over. Barr now with it. Fox Motor is able to chip it out. Barr comes back to retrieve. Barr now moving through the neutral zone. He dumps it off to Lynette. Lynette then tries to dump it down deep in the zone as they go for a change. But Fox Motor's coming back the other way. Barr is unable to strip that puck off. They then rim it. Around behind the boards, Moravicek's going to pick it up on the far side. Moravicek starts to look up the ice. He gets put on some pressure. Olsen's able to get it out of the zone, get it up to O'Brien. Fox Motors unable to chip that back into the neutral zone. That's kicked out. We're going to have a penalty for, looks like body checking on Olsen. So interference was the call. Guardians will have to go on the penalty kill as the faceoff comes back into their own zone with 11:03 left in the third period. Guardians win the draw. They rim it all the way around. O'Brien picks it up on the far side. We got Campbell breaking. O'Brien's able to pick it up. He's got one guy to beat. He moves into the zone. He gets a push to the outside. It goes into the near corner. He's battling now. He then rims it around behind the net. Campbell starts to move in. They go cross ice. That's nearly intercepted by O'Brien. Fox Motors then starts to move it up the ice. Crawlin trying to push him off. They get a shot. That's loose in front. That gets out to O'Brien. O'Brien now with it. He steps around the defense. He goes down, but he's able to get it to Campbell. We got a delayed penalty. Campbell picks it around. He comes around the net. He's still in control of that puck. Fox Motors then going to tap up for the whistle. And we'll go to 4-on-4 hockey for 43 seconds, and then Guardians will go on the power play. Fox Motors wins the draw. They rim it around the net. Amos is going to be there to pick it up on the near side here. He circles back. He then looks. He passes it over to Moravcik, who's breaking towards the net. Fox Motors then able to break that up. They chip it out in the neutral zone. Moravcik goes to Simonson. Simonson then goes cross ice. Amos gets it over into Algrim. Algrim now with it. He fires. That goes wide. Moravcik stepping up to hold the zone. Algrim swoops in. He gets a lane to the net. He's got a guy on the far side. Pass over to Amos. Amos can't quite hold on to it to get that shot off. Simonson now with it. He dumps it down deep to safety to Algrim. Algrim with it there at the top of the circles. He moves it, then dumps it back to Simonson. Simonson then fakes the cross ice pass. He's now with it at the top of the circles. He dumps it off. Miscommunication there between Simonson and Amos. Simonson now battling in the corner. Simonson comes out with it, pass it out in the middle, but that's intercepted by Fox Motors. They then chip it out. Moravcik's able to hold the zone, battling right there on the blue line. Guardian's able to hold the zone. Algrim kicks it up to himself. That comes over in the far corner. Algrim picks it up. That comes out to Simonson at the point. He looks cross ice, then moves it up to Amos. Amos can't hold on to that. It comes back to Simonson. Simonson thinks about shooting, then cuts back. He moves it into the corner. He then moves back to Algrim. Algrim now stops. He hits the brakes. He gets some open ice. He's at the top of the circles. He cuts around one. He looks into the middle, shoots. That goes off the goaltender into the far side. Has another shot there by Moravcik. That goes wide, rims all the way around into the neutral zone. Simonson picks it up to regroup. He goes cross ice back to Moravcik. Moravcik has a lot of open ice out in front of him. He starts to skate around. He moves it to the outside, and then tries to move it into the middle. Goaltender pushes out behind the net. Fox Motors then fires it down. Campbell's there to intercept. He chips it in. Well, that's now hustling back. Fox Motors able to chip it down in the zone. Higgy's back to retrieve. He moves it up to Lynette. Lynette moves it over to Campbell. Now Fox Motors gets a good bounce. They come back towards the net. What? Higgy does a stick lift there. They're going to call. They call an interference. I don't even know where that came from. Face-off will come back into the Guardian zone. Guardians back on the PK in their own zone. Moravcik battling. Campbell comes out with it. He chips it high off the boards. That's not going to be enough for an icing. Barr's hustling. He's able to beat that defense first to the puck. He comes around behind the net. He still has it. He tries to chip it out. That goes to Moravicek at the point. He fires it towards the net, but that's intercepted. Barnow is able to break that play up. He comes over to the far side. He cuts back towards the middle. He goes in around behind the net. He circles around, backhands. That chips up over the net. Campbell picks it up on the near side. Campbell now with it. He skates into the middle of the ice. He backhands. That goes off the post. Fox Motors then tries to get it out. Simonson's able to hold. They move it over to Campbell. Campbell now with the puck. He then tries to move it up into the middle. That's Sluice. That comes through to the far side. Barr trying to get back to break that up in the neutral zone. Moravicek then steps up. He moves it up to Campbell. Campbell now has some room to skate. He takes a slap shot. That goes wide. O'Brien now with it. He's skating it in around the net, and he's brushed off the puck. Fox Motors picks it up. They move it up to half wall. Then through in the middle of the ice. They can't hold on to it. Moravicek's able to intercept. Guardians are on sides. Moravicek now skating it towards the net. He has that puck stripped away. Algren picks it up, backhands it into the far corner. O'Brien moves in to help out. That puck comes out in front of the net. No one's home. Simonson then does a nice read, intercepts that pass, passes it over. Algren didn't quite see that pass coming as he was spun around. Algren now battling in the far corner along with O'Brien. That chips out. Puck then kicks out towards the front of the net. They push it around behind. They then move it up to the half wall. Comes out to Simonson. Simonson dumps it back deep. That's rimmed around behind the net. Fox Motors starting to come out the other side. They then chip it off the boards into the neutral zone. Olsen hustling back, break that play up in the neutral zone. Cronlund now steps up. He's got some open ice. He moves it to the outside. He's got O'Brien on the far side. He gets it on his toes. That's blocked and covered up by the goaltender. Campbell in to take the draw. 5:34 left in the second period. Guardians putting a ton of pressure on this Fox Motors this last half of the period. Cronlund steps around into the middle. He backhands it towards the net. That hops over Lynette's stick as he was sitting on the back door. Guardians then throw it up in no man's land in the center of the ice. Fox Motors coming out. Cronlund and Higgy both sandwich him, take him off the puck. Higgy's now able to get out of the zone. He's got some open ice. He's got Amos on the far side. He moves it over. Amos can't hold on. Amos cuts it back into the middle. Lynette now with it. They throw it around behind the boards. Fox Motors starts to skate it out. They move it into the middle of the ice. They then dump it down into the Guardian zone. Cronlund picks it up. He skates it around behind the net. He then goes up the ice. Fox Motors able to hold his zone. Campbell's there trying to get control of that puck. He skates into the middle of the ice. He moves it up to Lynette. Lynette now moves it to the far side to Amos. Amos picks it up. He can't hold on. Fox Motors now coming back the other way. Higgy now with the puck. He throws it up to Barr. Barr chips it up to Algren. And they're going to be offsides. Face-off just outside Fox Motors zone. 4:18 left. Scores 4-0 in favor of the Guardians. Face-offs drawn back into the Fox Motors zone and comes out in the neutral zone. Guardians then go cross ice to O'Brien. O'Brien picks it up. He starts to gain the Fox Motors zone. He gets it around to the outside. He starts to look out front. He passes. That's loose out front. Puck's still loose there. It kicks off into the far corner. They rim it around. Moravicek's then able to get it. He gets it over to Barr. Barr slaps it, hops over his stick. Fox Motors now starting to skate it out of their zone. They're then forced to dump it down deep. Moravicek goes behind the net to pick it up. Algren there battling. Both teams battling there down in the corner. Guardians then go cross ice. O'Brien now trying to get it out of the zone, unable to do so. That kicks out front. Puck's loose. They shovel it. That goes up over the net. The player goes down. Battle down in the corner. That kicks out in the middle. Simonson kicks it out. O'Brien picks up on the far side. He toe drags around one guy. He then tries to move it up the ice. He chips it up. That's going to be too long. Barr picks it up in the near corner there. He tries to kick it up to himself. Fox Motors then rims it all the way around. Lynette's going to pick it up on the far side. He's taken out. Fox Motors now starting to come back the other way. Crowland trying to chip that puck up. Guardians then come cross ice. Lynette now with the puck. We got a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 coming back the other way. They move it over to Barr. Barr shoots. That's blocked away by the goaltender. Lynette now picks it up on the far side. He cuts back, moves around. He gets some open ice. He moves it through the middle. He gets into the middle. He fires it on net. That goes to the backboards. Comes back out front. That comes right out to Lynette. Puck's still loose out in front. Fox Motors now taking it up the far side. Crowland now with it. He skates it around. He cuts back. He goes up the near boards. He tries to get it up the bar. That's chipped out front. Fox Motors then chips it off into the corner. Crowland battling there along with Campbell. Crowland picks it up. He skates it. He backhands it up, trying to get it to Lynette. That cuts back. Hagee's going to pick it up in his own zone. He tries to rim it up to Lynette. Fox Motors is there. Guardians are able to get it. They go around the defense. Campbell picks it up. We got a 2-on-1 coming back the other way. He gets it around, and we got a guy in the middle. He passes it over. Shot. Goalie does an amazing job getting over to stop that one. Fox Motors now coming back the other way. They step out into the middle. Higgy's now. Higgy's got room. He's got open ice. He's got speed. He goes around to the defense. He now rims it around, does the wrap around, and puts one in. That's goal number 5. Higgy's able to use the speed on a fast break through the neutral zone. He pushes to the outside. Goalie over commits to the near post. Higgy sees it, goes around behind the net, and taps it in. So 50 seconds left in the game here. Clock is in runtime. Face-off comes back to Simonson. Simonson dumps it off to Algrim. Algrim now moving through the neutral zone. He steps around. He has that puck poked away. Fox Motors then able to push it back to the neutral zone. Simonson picks it up as he regroups. He then goes cross ice to O'Brien. O'Brien tries to chip it up to Algrim, but it comes back. He goes back to Algrim. Puck's now down the near corner. Fox Motors rims it around. They start to skate it out of their zone. They then go cross ice. That's way behind their player, allowing the Guardians to step up. Fox Motors able to come out with it in the neutral zone. They skate it into the near side here, trying to get around Simonson. We're going to have a whistle. And that'll do it. That'll do game number 2 here down in Chicago in the Midwest Mayhem. Big win there for the Guardians after that hard loss in that first game. So the Guardians did an excellent job putting a lot of pressure. And they're able to pull away with a 5-0 win against the Fox Motors Sports Club. We'll be back tomorrow. I think our game's around 10 o'clock a.m. We'll get these boys home, get them tucked in the bed, to get a good night rest so we can come back and play again tomorrow. So all those, thank you for tuning in. And we'll be back. This is Guardians Hockey signing off.